حلمي للمنطقة إن إحنا نقرب من بعض أكتر وندور على الحاجات اللي إحنا فيها شبه بعض، نبعد عن الاختلافات لأن الاختلافات دايما مضرانا. Welcome to the MEM session. You are listening to Radio Gwen.
So my name is Damien Berger. I'm originally from Switzerland. I did my studies first in Zurich and then I moved to London where I studied Middle Eastern studies, or more precise, political economy of the Middle East and North Africa. And established in London with a very dear friend of mine a small research collective that is called Ishtar MENA Analytics, where we cover political, economic topics on the Middle East region. When I graduated high school, I decided to just go out into the world. I ended up in Morocco, learned some Arabic there, met a lot of people who are still my friends today. So sort of one thing led to another. You can call it path dependency, but I ended up studying the region and Arabic as well.
I am Amine Rahmani. I'm from Algeria, from a small city near Algiers called Blida. I am a mechanical engineer. I do freelancing now. And I am also the owner, the manager of a small language school where I teach as well. And I am also an amateur podcaster. I am very interested in geopolitics and diplomacy. So I applied for the MEM Summer Summit, hoping to meet people from different nationalities. I am open to a change of career at some point in my life. And it could go to maybe mediation or diplomacy. I am not against that, but it's not the reason why I came. I came because I am very curious and because I love to learn new things.
Well, I'm here as somebody who's highly interested in the region, of course. But I'm also here as somebody who is interested in liaising with other people who are here. There's a lot of talent here, huge potential to perhaps explore further projects together, and it's an incredible opportunity for me. I think I saw it on LinkedIn, actually. They're quite active, and since it's not the first edition, it seemed to be a very inspiring opportunity.
I expected something amazing, but to my surprise, it was even more. I was not disappointed at all. First of all, I did not imagine Lugano to be like this. It's a really, really beautiful place, beautiful city, and the nature is incredible. And then when it comes to the MEM Summer Summit, it's extremely interesting to see people from different nationalities talking among each other and also talking to them and seeing different points of views and also expressing my own points of views from my own country.
I first looked it up online and I saw the profiles of the young changemakers of the previous years, so I thought I might just fit the profile. And then also, of course, I saw the potential to liaise with all the people who are here. So it wasn't just about myself and pushing Ishtar here, but also about exploring further prospects of cooperation with these people. I was positively surprised. Lots of topics. Everybody finds his or her own topic and his or her own speciality and sort of identifies with a certain part of the seminar, but all together sort of we're able to bring in our expertise, and that makes it so interesting. So we're looking at the issue, or we're looking at the region from so many different perspectives, but also sort of bringing together a valuable insight. Obviously, I cannot contribute with personal, though I've lived in the region, but I cannot contribute with personal upbringing or experience, intel on that. That is for sure. But I think I can sort of, in the very good Swiss tradition of the good offices, I can sort of help on building bridges, which is also what we do at Ishtar. So we're bringing together people and we're trying to build bridges, trying to build understanding and mutual cooperation. And that's also what I'm trying to do here. So facilitating talks and linking people. And we thought, so soon we're going to go out into the world and trying to do our impact on the world. That might sort of enable us to inspire each other and to find possible linkages for projects. People are very like-minded here. Although we come from very different backgrounds, it's super easy to talk to each other. Also because we approach each other with a genuine interest. So it makes it easy to actually establish valuable connections, which I have to some of the participants. It's not possible to talk to everybody. We're a lot. But I can see future avenues to do a project together with some of the participants of the MEM.
There is one particular country with whom, like if you consider the history of where I come from, of Algeria, we went through vicious colonization. I realize, talking to people here, I realize that not many people know about this. So what my people has been subjected to is very shocking and traumatizing. Just reading the history is traumatizing. And everyone, where I come from, everyone has someone who has died fighting colonialism. And so meeting people who are from countries that I consider colonials wasn't something that I did not know how to feel about it at first. Seeing in the group chat before coming here, this guy is from a colonial country. How am I going to like talk to these people? Am I going to say good morning? Am I going to say good night to them? Like, am I going to be friends with them? Because it's a very sensitive subject to us. Like colonialism, especially in Algeria, that maybe more than other countries that were colonized, it's a very, very sensitive subject. So to my surprise, I personally did not see them as citizens of their countries, but rather normal human beings. We found a lot of areas of interest, common interests, and they are now, I'm very happy to call them friends. I idealize whatever politics is in their country, but on the contrary, they're trying to make things better, which is something that I respect a lot. And moreover, I have seen these people from what I believe to be colonizing countries, and these people from what I believe to be colonized countries, sitting together in the morning and having breakfast. And yes, this gives you a very different perspective on what humanity and what being human actually is. But it's important to not forget that these people are not just statistics, not just news. They are human beings. I can't wait to go back home and tell the experiences not only to my friends and family, but also to whoever listens to my podcast, to whoever follows me on social media, to be able to freely express what I think. I decided to struggle a bit, maybe have more difficulties in the making of the podcast, in order to be able to be free, to have freedom of expression. I did not feel any pressure from the people or from the government, even though I have very controversial maybe ideas that I share on the podcast, and maybe sometimes I have guests who have controversial ideas that I might agree or disagree with. One thing that I have noticed in Lugano is that it is very, very calm. So in contrast to where I come from my city is very, very loud, maybe because of cars, and sometimes airplanes fly very low. And so I would say in general, loudness is not a problem. You could even say, call your friend from a distance and nobody would look at you.
My wish is that we shift the perspective on how we approach the relations between different countries and between the north and the south of the Mediterranean region, to which I would Switzerland also count, that we shift the perspective from a countering of threats or crisis towards a realization of the potential and realizing how much we can benefit from each other, specifically also in terms of migration. We're always talking about combating mass migration. Why don't we talk about profiting from the people who come to us and how we can make the best use of it?
I went to the mountain in Montbray, and I saw people, especially young women, sitting in the dark in the mountain. And this is something that I don't see in my country. Like, if you do that, young men are going to go to these women, and I don't know, it could go from harassing to God forbid, rape. So safety is not our strong thing, especially in rural places or places that are far away from the police. So I can imagine if you just gave a visa to any Algerian who had a little bit of money, the people are gonna come here and cause problems. So I do understand that. However, I think this is a problem that can be solved, and I think traveling is a human right. You can't just tell someone don't come. I don't think that's anyone's right to say that, to do that.
It's a demography that we think plays against us because we're an aging population in Switzerland. But when we look a bit further, when we look to the Middle East, to the northern African shores, we have so many people who want to get to us, who are highly educated most of the times, and who could sort of fill the gaps of skilled labor when we need it. And in a mutual cooperation that also sort of creates a better narrative than the one we have today. So yeah, that's a super important point you made.
I wouldn't say that freedom goes against war. And I wouldn't say that all conflicts are bad or war inherently is bad. Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to go to war. From my perspective, when I look back in history, I'm very glad that my grandparents' generation led a 7-year war against the French, during which a lot of horrible things my grandparents did and the French did, during which 2 million Algerians were killed only in 7 years, and recently in the 50s and 60s. So, but now I have dignity, I have my identity, I can I can enjoy my own culture, my own language, because before that, speaking Arabic or learning Arabic rather, or teaching the religion of Islam or any cultural thing from North Africa was considered illegal in Algeria. There are some cases where you have to go to war, unfortunately. If you can solve things diplomatically, and diplomacy is always very, very important, and of course when you go to war you have to end war as soon as possible, but sometimes you can't just let someone take advantage of you and delete you and not do anything about it. If there were more summits like this one, I think there would be no wars because we are going back home in a few days with a different perspective of the whole Mediterranean and Middle Eastern region, with a different perspective of each other's countries and each other's points of views.